Hyperbole. The dictionary definition of hyperbole is exaggerated statements or claims not to be taken literally. But listen to this and ask yourself a question. Is this hyperbole or is it a call to violence?
My leg is shaking.
I know. Go. Let it all out.
Here's what's going on here. I don't want to talk about a memo. We've got a dozen instances of clearly the Russians colluding this election with top Trump officials. 2 have already been convicted. We have a guy, a president, who clearly is owned by Putin. We have an investigation going. Okay, that's good news. We basically now have a press release that's been put out, that's been twisted and mangled, that now will give this president permission to fire Rosenstein, who will now take over this investigation. Our democracy is under siege. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator. This is not something to analyze anymore.
Yeah.
This is not a good day for Trump.
Yeah.
This is frightening stuff if you are an American. If you're somebody who's 80 years old and sitting at home and you've watched the greatness of this country, you should be terrified. And if you're a 12-year-old and the future is in front of you, this is terrifying. This is not time to analyze and pundit. People, we need a revolution at this point. And I'm not doing TV here, and I'm not going, ooh, crazy Donny. Well, this is what's going on.
You know what is it?
In the fall of 2017, an MSNBC viewer and supporter of Bernie Sanders by the name of James Hodgkinson brought his SKS rifle to a baseball practice held by congressional Republicans and their staff. Apparently, he was enraged by the presidency of Donald Trump and inflamed by the rhetoric he heard every night on MSNBC. Hodgkinson thought he could rescue the country with a mass assassination of Republicans. Had the Capitol Police not been there to offer armed resistance, the number of people killed and wounded would have certainly been in the dozens. That is why the words of Donny Deutsch cannot be dismissed as simple overheated rhetoric. Deutsch is speaking with a level of irresponsibility which is likely to result in violence against elected officials. And calling for revolution is a subversive act because he is in effect calling for the overthrow of the president. Nothing Deutsch is saying, at least in this clip, is true. There is no clear evidence of collusion, and 2 people have not been convicted of collusion. In fact, nobody has been convicted or even charged with collusion or anything else remotely resembling collusion. And it is not clear that Trump is owned by Putin. As a matter of fact, President Trump is arming the Ukrainians, something I'm sure Vladimir Putin isn't happy about. So nothing that Donny Deutsch is saying here is actually supported by the facts at all. But it does tend to make people even angrier than they already are. Here's a quote. "Our democracy is under siege. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator. This is not something to analyze anymore." And then just a moment later, he went on to say, "We need a revolution at this point." Unquote. These are the kind of remarks that result in the James Hodgkinsons of the world attempting to murder. Donny Deutsch should be thrown off the air for inciting violence. We have already had a horrible shooting incident where many could have died, but apparently for Donny Deutsch, we need more of that. It is clear that Deutsch sees no problem or stigma at all in a clear call for violence against the Trump administration. For the great vocal majority, I'm Tony Codispoti. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and take care.